What's up, guys? This is Unfairly. Today we're going to be going over some combat mechanics in Marathon. This is some gameplay from an earlier alpha. Very old build. I just want to point out the ping system. It's very visual in your face. Big red cross, and it tracks the person's movement for just about 1 to 2 seconds. It also transmits the information of their shield and their name. The same goes for every single one of your teammates as well, so it's extremely powerful. It's extremely important to have great decision making in this game. You need to know where your cover is and when to use it. There, even though I had one down and one cracked, I got cracked myself, and I need to make the decision that allows me to continue the fight and win it. And so you want to know where your cover is and where your hitbox is protected, like something large that will absolutely cover you. You can use this small break in the fight to either heal, use an ability, or evade and get out of the fight to live to fight another day if you don't have the ability to keep fighting. Here I'm going to use some heals and I'm going to get back in the fight. Using my ultimate ability to get invisible in the smoke. I'm just going to take my shields, no health, just to maintain aggression, just because one is down. I don't want it to go back to being a 2v1. I'm going to immediately finish both of these combatants, just to ensure that they're not tagging me and transmitting information to the third person. Those loot boxes are exactly what people drop when they are eliminated, and it's really important that you kind of camp them because they're good for foot traffic. The other person, especially if they're missing like this guy is, he's going to be looking to come back and revive or loot. And he does. He's impatient. And he was punished for it. Here we have another clip on perimeter. We're just kind of doing an objective. One of my teammates is down. We're getting pushed. Ignore the audio background. It's just for the first couple clips. This is an objective. It's old. Lost change. So my teammates go down. I'm going to throw my ult immediately and get invisible for the most versatility. I'm going to put the first person down. I get the first shot. Staying in this smoke makes me invisible, so I'm going to stay near it and keep tapping it just to reset it. If he doesn't see me, I'm going to get the first shot and to get the quick elimination. Light machine guns are very strong. So here, this is perimeter, and this is a southern POI. It's important that you maintain height in a vertical game like Marathon. Oversee people. I understand that both of my teammates have their nose in the loot, and so I need to keep a lookout just for other people pushing and rotating in, just like someone did here. He got snuck. And so having the high ground, already having the advantage. This is a perfect example of baiting the loot box. This person is immediately looking to stuff their face in the loot, and I get some free damage off of him. He makes a decent play by using his ultimate to go invisible, and I could push in and be invisible as well and make it a 50-50. However, Bungie has excellent grenade mechanics, and I do happen to have a frag here, so I'm going to be bouncing it in, and it's going to finish him without taking that risk. So here at Dire Marsh, you're going to look and see that I do have a kind of a hit or miss loadout. It's a very close range double barrel shotgun and then a long range DMR with a sniper scope. And I'm going to meet this fellow here. Very unfortunate circumstances. However, if we refer back to the previous points of knowing where your cover is and good decision making, you'll notice that there was a door open to my left, and there are those vertical slits to the left if all else fails. So I'm going to immediately recognize my disadvantage. I'm going to panic shoot, but I'm going to immediately make the decision and move. And this goes to also show you that aim and mechanics aren't everything. You can still use your aim or your brain and your wit to outsmart people. Here's a common situation that you may run into where both of your teammates are down. You need to approach these situations, the clutches, with a lot of patience. Notice how I'm a big croucher. I like to minimize the amount of sound that I make to not give them any information. And referring back to the cases again, high traffic area. People are either going to get looted or revived, so I'm ready for a fight immediately. And then another important point is that I have two very good guns in my inventory. Always having a reliable secondary is essential, especially in trios, even in solos. Just because I downed the first guy and I was lucky enough that he didn't get a shot on me or any damage. But if that second guy came out and I had nothing or my knife, then I'm immediately done for. That's the end of our run. The fact that I was able to present him with a full weapon and a full shield, and I was able to essentially take the 2v1 and win the engagement. It's always going to be faster than reloading every single time. Here is kind of a funny clip. This is like a lesson that you're going to learn. That you need to be very careful and ensure that your surroundings are secure when you're looting. And here, I think I hear something in the background, which I just did. I'm going to go the extra mile and put the extra step in between me and the potential combatant. I'm going to make sure that that person has to give me an audio cue so I can prepare my gun and bring my nose out of the loot and be ready to defend myself if needed. And sure enough, footsteps. But I also make a terrible mistake of not having my gun reloaded in an engagement. And so I fire off one shot and it does nothing to him. I do end up having a viable weapon as a secondary, and I get a lucky out here. Back on perimeter, back in the south. Important there that you see AI whenever you go into a POI. They're going to be very slow walking and patrolling. If they're moving around and moving aggressively towards something, they're showing you that there's another player there. So I get the information on him. I get a little bit of a tag. I'm not going to push or be stupid because I don't know where his teammates are and don't want to quick die. I'm immediately going to take height so I can monitor the situation adequately. Height is always going to be great. You get another sight on his teammate. And you start recognizing the little nooks and crannies that you're able to use to your advantage on height. I recognize this guy's here. I'm gonna take him down. This is also another important lesson. This is here, we're leaving the same POI after the fight. And there's somebody rotating in. No one's paying attention. And so someone gets taken down. I'm waiting for the best shot, trigger discipline. And then another Bungie nade bounce. This is a good clip. This is a good all-around clip for a real 3v3 fight. And how to really make a difference kind of as a solo. This really goes to show you being a well-rounded solo is essential, contributing to a trio or a duo. So your teammate gets an absolutely clutch tag. You see here, it shows me the shield, position, name. It's tracking him, showing me where he's headed as well. And so I'm going to cautiously approach this. I know my teammates are to the right. I'm going to kind of split off to the left, cover more ground in sight. We're starting to get everybody in the picture. We know where two are now. And now we have three. So now I'm assuming my teammates are going to push straight in just because in the alpha there was not really any teams. It was mostly Phil. Or I think it was all Phil. And so you couldn't rely on your teammates at all. You just kind of have to assume they're going to W key straight at it and kind of be like brain dead soldiers. So I'm keeping the tags up to date, which is important. Because they do expire, of course, after a short time. But you want to keep tagging them anytime you see them. It's very easy, as long as your crosshair is relatively near them. Approaching this with patience and silence, crouching. I popped this a little bit early, but I do think that I'm going into a 3v1 immediately. Right here, we find somebody. Trigger discipline. Want to ensure that I'm killing them in half a second. As fast as possible. You don't want any sort of long, drawn-out fights, runners, because it's going to attract their teammates. Not only, but it's also going to attract third parties, which are extremely common. Other teams are rotating about, and they hear you're shooting, and they want to come and have a piece of it. They would love to take on 2 teams that are both weak. And so here we get that kill. We're being cautious, not immediately diving into the loot, making sure everything's good to go. Don't get done like these other people, getting baited by the loot. Take a few essentials. Our teammates finally do a little bit of work. Get this guy tagged. I can see him. Great angle. There it is. All 3. This is the last fight. It's a bit chaotic. This is like one of the first like real fights that I kind of had. And definitely the most drawn out that I had that early. So one teammate's dead. One's hurt. I go invisible. I'm kind of freaking out. I don't see that that guy's actually an enemy at first. Teammate makes it out somehow. Put Void Air Assassin down. And I'm going to try to kill him immediately so he doesn't give out any sort of pings or information. Sever that link immediately. I misjudged how close my teammate was for the res because I was kind of bad in this build. And so I decided against it, kind of trying to keep the momentum that I had. But approaching it cautiously as the last person, of course, being that it's a 2v1 at least. Keeping my hitbox low, behind cover, telling my teammate to come to me so I don't expose, don't get excited and run out to him and open. I'm monitoring the death box. Again, they're going to come back, try to res, get loot, high traffic, and it proves right there. And so hitting him that amount and me being at 75% overall health with a full clip, I'm pushing him immediately. I then realized that that is not the same person, so I'm immediately putting myself at a disadvantage in a 2v1 out in the open. But with the previous tips in mind, we know where our exits are at all times and what our options are. We know we can get behind this rock and it at least covers a crouch, and we know we can go backwards. And we know that some of our ult and invisibilities are coming up as well. And so we do the damage that we can, we really realize, and we immediately bolt. Immediately make yourself as small a hitbox as possible with the crouch. I recognize that the person on the left was the original person that I hit very, very hard. We're going to kind of ego repeat, and we'll take him out, which is fine. We're going to use the ult again. Invisible as long as you're in the smoke. Make a decision. Take a heal. Reload, etc., etc. I'm going to realize that I have no shields, and so I kind of think about going for the teammate again, but then I'm like, this is the second time we're going to go back and continue the momentum. Check my original loot, get a little bit of shield, situational awareness. And this guy's playing great hitbox peaks. Look at that head peak. That's great. That's excellent. And so it's like a chess match from here on out. We trade damage, we heal up. Again, this early playing the game and being this new, this was definitely the longest fight that I've ever had, like really drawn out. I was freaking out at the time. I had no idea what this game was even about. And so he throws his ability, which is a tracking device. And so I think that this is my cue, being that I'm at mostly full health. I have a big mag, 43 rounds. I'm going to go up and I'm going to play this rock the same way he was. And I ended up just getting the drop on him because he's looking for his tracker, which maybe got stuck on a rock. I don't know what it did, but it ended up working out. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to engage, follow me on Twitter or X, unfairly with 2 Ys, and I am also in the Marathon Discord. Have a great day.